to the Extraordinary Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuned in
Welcome to the Be Extraordinary
Podcast. Let's go!
Welcome to the Be Extraordinary Podcast.
Yes, now the slides come.
We're up.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome everyone and thank you for being part of the Be Extraordinary Podcast. This is our fourth episode for October. Time has gone by really fast. I'm so happy to have all of you with us today. State Farm has been doing a great job with us sponsoring all four segments. As you know, I am Joetta. I am the host of the show. I have my 5 P's, have a purpose, get prepared, be patient, get perturbed, and persevere. And I am a health and wellness authority, and I'm a motivational speaker. So I say I and I say we. I'm saying we right now because I have a co-host in Tyrone Johnson, and he's been with me for all of these 24 segments. Here we go, Tyrone.
Hey, welcome everybody back to the Big Extraordinary Podcast. And I have 5 F's. My 5 F's are faith, family, fitness, finance, and friends. Sometimes I play around with the last 3, but family and faith always stay up top. So like I said, I hope you came up with some different acronyms for yourself. It could be in a word, it could be in a phrase, it could be your name. It just gets me through the day. So welcome, welcome, welcome.
And getting through the day is really important. As I get up in the morning, I always get spiritually right, mentally right, physically right, so that I'm able to handle everything that's going to come at us during the day. I just want to say that we are very fortunate to have State Farm with us, as we say at the podcast, Be Extraordinary and State Farm. We are perfect together. And then we are in studio, Beyond Creative. Please feel free to contact AJ because he can help you with your website design. He can help you with multimedia designs. He can help you with videos and photography. He can do it all. You have his website and his phone number. So please reach out to AJ and see how he can help you. So we want to do this.
Can I just stop you for 1 second?
Sure, you can stop us.
I just want to let you know that I'm looking at these glasses that I did I guess a eye health fitness tip, and these are some nice glasses, Joetta. I just wanted to say.
Well, thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, no, that's thank you for stopping. Last week we had the health tip were your eyes. So I decided to make sure that I had all my glasses right. So I do have my glasses. I will be wearing them from time to time. So thank you for bringing that to my attention. Right now, we want to show you a video. And this video is really important because a lot of times it's Fire Prevention Month.
Mm-hmm.
And so often we don't know how to use different items that we have in our house. So the video that we're going to show you now will help you utilize a very important item that you have in your house.
1. Once you've seen the fire, first grab the closest fire extinguisher, ensuring it's the correct type and class appropriate to extinguish the fire, and always make sure to keep your back to an unobstructed exit. If you do not think that you can put out the fire safely, make sure to evacuate the building. Step 2. Once you have your fire extinguisher, stand 6 to 8 feet away from the fire. Step 3. Follow the PASS 4-step procedure. First is P for pull. Pulling the pin unlocks the operating lever and allows you to discharge the extinguisher. Next is A for aim. Make sure to aim the extinguisher nozzle or hose at the base of the fire. The first S is squeeze. Squeeze the lever. This discharges the extinguishing agent. Releasing the lever will stop the discharge. The second S is for sweep. While discharging the extinguisher, start moving towards the fire. Keep the extinguisher aimed at the base of the fire and sweep back and forth until the flames appear to be out. Once the fire has been extinguished, make sure to watch the fire area. If the fire reignites, repeat the process. Always remember that smoke generated from the fire can be harmful and even fatal. Never attempt to extinguish a fire unless it is safe to do so. Now to recap the PASS 4-step procedure. P is for pull the pin. A is for aim the nozzle. The first S is for squeeze the lever. And the second S is for sweep.
Wow, thank you. Tyrone, that is so important to know how to use your fire extinguishers. So could you please just in a short overview, the different type of extinguishers? So we don't want to have all 4 types or all 5
Yeah.
types. So which ones should you have? And
So we have a basic extinguisher that's for the house. It's called ABC. So that's pretty much for wood, furniture, small things like that. And it's a smaller extinguisher, maybe about less than 2 feet. We have canisters that just carry water, and those are just water extinguishers. So I'd rather you get the ABC extinguisher because it has baking powder inside. So the same thing. Pass is pull that pin out. Some now that you buy for your house, you leave it under the cabinet or on each floor. It's a push button now. Even with that push button, don't get excited to get close to the fire. Remember, 6 feet away. The aerosol is going to spray that way, but so you're not pulling the pin on that one. Spray it, sweep, and stay back. Remember, always keep your back towards the exit. You're ready to go just in case something happens. And we have different ones for oil fires, electric fires, but those are for the fire department. So just get a basic fire extinguisher for your house and your car, and you should be safe.
and also, do they expire? Should they look at
No,
expiration date?
the fire, everything has an expiration date on.
Right.
I'm not gonna say no, it doesn't expire, but most of the times, the ones that we use in the buildings, like the schools and different places, those are pretty much 4 or 5 years, and they have to just put more water in them. Those are the water extinguishers.
Okay.
But when you buy an aerosol can, that should be good.
Okay. So thank you for that that video.
You didn't say it happened to my phone.
Well, you know, I didn't do our
my
check-in yet, but I'm see what you have over here. He has his fire hydrant, his hat, his top hat, you call that?
That's my bell cap.
Oh, the bell cap, and then his firefighter's prayer that he has, and service, valor, honor, and dedication. So thank you for all of those things and for having your bell
That
hat.
kept me safe. For
Yeah, it did
25 years.
for 25 years. So here we go. We are our first guest will be Mattie Hudson is our first guest, and we did our little check-in already. So Mattie, will you please come on? We want to see your pretty face. We have our State Farm agent, Mattie Hudson. She is down in Philadelphia, and it's funny, when I saw Philadelphia, I thought Philadelphia, PA, but it's Philadelphia, and I think is it Mississippi?
Mississippi, yes.
Yes, Philadelphia, Mississippi. So thank you for being on the show. You are a State Farm agent, and her passion is helping others and to make a big difference in the lives of others and to give back to her community. She is a proud graduate of Jackson State University and has been on many boards, and being a State Farm agent is something that's very dear to her. And if you want to find out more about what she's doing and how you can help her get involved in the community, please feel free to reach her at her phone number and also visit her website, which is at the bottom. So the next face that we're going to see is that of Mattie Hudson.
So hello, and thank you, Joetta and Tyrone, for having me today.
Hello.
And it's funny that you mentioned that you brought on the first video about fire safety, because we did an event this month. It's Fire Prevention Safety Month, and we did an event at a local school where we partnered with the fire station, and we had the fire trucks come out, and we partnered with the Red Cross, who provided us safety kits that included magnets and fun things for the kids to do, and also included general information about how to be safe during a fire and how to recognize the sounds of fire safety. So I
Yes.
thought that
Mhm.
was pretty ironic.
We did that last week, the sounds of fire safety.
Yes.
So yes, so thank you, thank you. And there's never too early to start. So speaking of starting, how did you get started with State Farm and how long have you been doing your work down there in Philadelphia?
So I started with State Farm in 1989. And at that time, I was working for one of the regional offices in Florida. And so I worked as an employee for State Farm for about 23 years. And then the opportunity arose for me to take advantage of an agency opening here in Philadelphia, Mississippi. And I was fortunate enough to be able to take advantage of that opportunity. So I've been here in Philadelphia. It will be 10 years, July 2022.
Okay,
Okay.
who's
How
counting?
how far is that from where you went to school?
So it's probably about an hour and a half from Jackson State.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to ask you something else as well, because you have done a lot of great work, and this is an opportunity for you to talk about what you've done and why it's so important for you to do this, to do these community services. So I know one thing you've done, you do a food drive. Can you talk about that?
The food drive. So the food drive that we do, it's Rotary. I'm a member of Rotary, and we partner with this local food pantry where they provide food to the needy. And so we've provided cans of goods to this organization. We provided the manpower helping pass out grocery bags filled with food, especially during the pandemic. And so that's something that I get an opportunity to do through my involvement with Rotary.
Okay.
Wow.
Now, also, you this is something really special. You've raised over $17,000
And
for hunger. I'm sorry.
for hunger.
Yes. Have you, what amount of money have you raised, if any, for that? I thought that you were involved in that organization as well.
So the only things that we do is basically contribute food to that organization and the manpower that they need to serve
Okay.
the people in Philadelphia.
Oh, okay.
So what is passionate for you? What is it that you do? What community services have you been involved in that really are passionate to you?
So at the core of my being is the innate desire to help and serve other people. And so that's like my passion. And it's been said that if you can find an opportunity to do something you love and get paid for it, then you've got the perfect job. And so I think that I have the perfect job because it combines my passion for helping people manage the risks of everyday life, recover from the unexpected, and realize their dreams into this awesome opportunity that I have every day to impact the lives of others and have a positive effect on them.
I like that word that you used, risk, because I remember when I was 23 leaving school and I decided to become a firefighter and I knew the risk. I said, okay, risk, reward, risk saving people, reward, saving people, risk might get killed, risk. But then when I started to put it in my own, you got to stay safety. If I stay as safe as I can with my uniform or my helmet, knowing when to go in and when to come out, the risk is going to be minimal. So I always use the risk factor. And I told you what it's called, our size up. We see the building. If it's too much fire, don't go in.
Yes.
So
it's that whole risk versus rewards, and the rewards of serving others and having that positive impact is just, it's rewarding within itself. And so it gives me a lot of motivation.
Speaking of motivation, I know State Farm is very influential, and they're really compassionate, and they're really focused on making sure the community knows that they are there. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. So when you're talking about your community services and your involvement with State Farm, is there anything else that stands out in your mind that you partner with your company in the community?
So what I am fortunate enough to do is I am fortunate enough to see people in my office and help them with their insurance and financial needs. And then outside of the office, I'm able to get involved in the community. And when people see me outside of the office, I believe they're able to better connect, and I'm able to better connect with them. And they get to see that I share some of the same common values that we all share. So doing things like being involved with this project that we have. Again, I'll use Rotary as an example because my Rotary Club is pretty active, but Rotary does an event every year where we will go out and we will cook and provide food for the players and the parents and their families for this organization called Diamond Dreams. Diamond Dreams is an organization that they promote fun activities for disadvantaged or disabled children. And so these special needs children, some of them in wheelchairs, get to play baseball throughout the year. And we go there and we help that organization by feeding the players and their families. So if you never have seen, a disabled kid on a baseball field, let me tell you that it is the most heart-touching thing that you can see. The exhilaration, the excitement on those children's faces, that in itself is just, something that is priceless. Just being able to get out on a baseball field. So usually you don't think that disabled kids would be able to play baseball, but this is something that has been enabled by this organization, and we're happy to support them. Other things that I've done in the community is I try to be involved in things that I'm passionate about. So I'm passionate about education. I'm passionate about our children. And I'm passionate about financial literacy. So you'll see a lot of things that I do in the community are surrounding those things. So for children, for example, I created an accelerated reader recognition program for children to increase their reading abilities and to encourage them to read more. So for students that had the top AR scores in their grades, I provided a recognition where I gave them a certificate and I gave them a gift certificate to a local bakery for a cookie. And, I put the certificate in a frame. The frame was from Dollar Tree, but the return that I got was we increased those children's reading in that particular school. So that is, a tangible reward that I can see from my efforts. So things like that are
Mattie,
I'd love to get involved in.
And I thank you for sharing all that information. You have a passion, you know your purpose, and to whom much is given, much is required. So it appears that you are doing a lot. State Farm is backing you, and continue to do all the wonderful things that you've been doing in the community, and everything that appears that you're doing in the community. If someone comes to your office, they can find out about insurance, financial, they can find out those things as well, and for an adult. So I'm sure you've done things with adults as well, but because we're short on time, we're going to come back to that a little bit later on and find out what more you've done for the adults. But I tell you, as you know, the children are our future. So thank you for putting time and energy in them, because that is what really matters, is that when you have the kids come out, their parents are with them too. So you're kind of getting both people at one time.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much.
So if you want to contact Mattie, she's going to put her information in the chat. So you can reach her via phone and her website and her email to find out how you can get involved with her community services, and more importantly, or just as important, how she can help you with your everyday insurance, home needs, car insurance, financial needs of being a State Farm agent. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you again.
You're welcome.
Wow, that was very good. She's doing a lot of good things, even though she's from Mississippi, Philadelphia. I'm just going to say Philadelphia and think about Pennsylvania, but I know you're in Mississippi. So what we're going to do now is, this is the point where we do our Joe Time health tip. And I think that the health tips have been really getting better and better. We've been getting really good feedback.
Because of the glasses, the eye
well,
glasses?
I don't know about the glasses, but I know it's getting better and better because of the content that's in those.
Oh, it's a health tip, and it's for to stay healthy.
To stay healthy, right?
Okay.
Mind, body, and soul. So this one appears to be more of a a body? A
Yes,
physical-
yes, because people really, I just want to let you know what the grams are in sugar and the difference between sugar in fruits and, processed sugar, okay? So natural sugar in fruits, that's what we want. That's what we want. I've been eating so much fruit the last couple of weeks. My fiber is through the roof. Okay. Natural sugars are found in fruits as fructose and in dairy products such as milk and cheese. As lactose foods with natural sugars have an important role in the diet of our cancer patients. That's very important. And anyone trying to prevent cancer because they provide essential nutrients that keep the body healthy and help prevent diseases. Okay, so these are some of the things that we go through when it comes to natural fruit. It's types of sugar in food. Okay, for diabetics and people that have diabetes, friendly fruit that are low in sugar include plums, grapefruit, peaches, avocados, pears, and berries. Okay, so fruit containing natural sugars, which are a mix of sucrose, fructose, and glucose. Okay, so the SFG, those are the things that are in fruit. Many people have heard that sugar is bad, and they think that this must be also in apples, applied to fruits. So when they hear sugar, they go, man, too much sugar. Yeah, it's right. Because like when I tell you certain fruits that have a lot of content of sugar, you can't eat as much, okay? But fructose is only harmful in excessive amount, okay? So remember that. If you eat too much of anything, it's not good for you. So in this thing right here, I've given you 11 different types of fruit, okay? So when you look at the fruits themselves, the lime and the lemons, only 1 or 2 grams of sugar. That's it, rich in vitamin C. You go to strawberries, 7 grams. So a cup of strawberries is really good for you, 7 grams. Blueberries, the same thing. I eat blueberries and strawberries. If I don't eat them, I make a smoothie. Raspberries are high in fiber. That's only 5 grams of sugar. Kiwi, 6 grams. Grapefruit, 9 grams. Avocado, 1 gram. So you can eat as much avocados as you want on toast in your food or whatever. 1 gram of sugar. Now we're going to the sugar that has a lot of grams in it, like watermelon. So I'll have 2 slices, every day or skip a day because it has 10 grams of sugar. Cantaloupe, same thing. That's 14 grams, 2 slices. Oranges and peaches. Those are the ones that have a lot of grams of sugar.
So how much sugar, a gram should you have daily?
Right here. Go ahead, Joetta.
The bottom line says the bottom line for the dietary needs 200 calories of 50 grams per day of added sugar based on a 2,000 calorie diet. Women should have 24 grams. That's about 6 teaspoons of sugar.
Say that again. How many
Women,
teaspoons?
About 6 teaspoons of sugar.
So for instance, if somebody's out there right now having their morning cup of coffee with 4 teaspoons of sugar, you haven't even eaten breakfast, lunch, or dinner, you got 2 teaspoons to work with. Cut it down. Go with the men.
And the men have 36 grams, which is about 9 teaspoons of sugar.
Because of that testosterone and all of that stuff we have in our system, they're giving us 3 more teaspoons. But the same thing with men. You got that first cup of coffee, 4 or 5 teaspoons. Then you go eat a Pepsi or drink a Pepsi. That's 16 teaspoons. You're done for the day. Mattie, you've done for 3 days.
For 3 days, right?
Okay. So cut back a little bit on your sugar intake and you will see a big difference.
Well, thank you very much. I think that these health tips are very important, and we don't want you to stop everything cold turkey.
No.
But we would like you to be aware that this is important. Sugar intake is important, and be aware of what fruits and vegetables have the sugar so that you can make the adjustment.
Of course, studies have shown with the American Heart Association that we are doing almost 77 grams of sugar a day. So if a woman is 24 and a man is 36, they're doing 3 times as much and the men are doing 2 times as much. So be careful with your sugar intake.
Okay, well, thank you very much. And now we're going to go to our next guest on the show. We have 4 guests today, so we're going to go by as quickly as we can, but we don't want to short them their information because they have done a lot in the community. The next guest up will be Shawn King.
Okay.
And after we go over Shawn's bio, we're going to show his video. Shawn is down in Mississippi, Tupelo, Mississippi. He's a husband. He has 5 beautiful children. He opened up his agency in 2015. His team has over 60 years of combined insurance experience. He is a sponsor of the Scholars Athlete Award at the high school, as well as the Good Neighbor Award at the Million Elementary. He also enjoys helping other small businesses, and he is the past president of a Kiwanis Club, and he is very involved in his church. So we have a video that we're going to show you with Shawn that will show some of the things that he's done in Mississippi.
Ceremony. State Farm agents across the area helped raise enough money to provide nearly 300,000 meals to needy people throughout Northeast Mississippi. Throughout the month of September, State Farm agents in Tupelo raised money for the Hunger Coalition of Northeast Mississippi. $17,000 was raised, which will provide 300,000 meals for people in the area. Organizers say the need has increased during the past year and a half.
I can't say enough for the State Farm agents, absolute cleaning, Servpro restoration. We've all come together at this time of need to help families as we go into this holiday season.
I mean, the belief really is this: there's no bench warmers in this community, right? Everybody's got to play the part. There's so much of a need. This is just one need out of so many, but we just wanted to do what we could, and hopefully we bless a lot of people in the process.
They made an incredible difference. They collectively came together, brought the community together, reached out to neighbors, and they did an awesome job raising this money.
And the Hunger Coalition of Northeast Mississippi partners with food pantries, hot meal services, and weekend backpack programs to help them meet the needs of the community. Ceremony.
Wow, Shawn, congratulations on the work that you've done down in Mississippi as well. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be a part of this.
So we're going to go right into it with you as well. Could you please tell us the importance of you working in the community and having State Farm sponsor you and support your efforts?
Yeah, well, first of all, I got to give a shout out to Mattie. She may not remember, but about 6 years ago when I started, she was kind enough to give me about 20 minutes of her time to pick her brain. She was ahead of me several years and was very kind and warm to tell me what to do. I regret, though, she didn't tell me all the bad stuff. She told me all the good stuff. So anyway, but it's people like that I'm grateful for. But yeah, why State Farm? You know, for right or wrong or whatever, indifferent, for 99 years, State Farm's created a culture of giving back. I mean, there's 19,000 agents across the country, and my goodness, you can't throw a rock without hitting somebody. And when I grew up in Western Louisiana, I just remember the pillars of my community. Many of those were State Farm agents. The guy that led my church, was one of the elders, like he was a State Farm agent. And there's nothing special about us, but there's just something that you think of different. It gives you a platform you don't have otherwise, maybe. And I just knew I want to be a small business owner. But like my dad, who previously did a lot in the community, that's just part of my DNA. And this gave me that opportunity. And wow, what a ride it's been, in the last 6 years. So
I think that you said something that I'm going to have to challenge you on, because you said that State Farm agents are on special. And if you're on the show, you're extraordinary. So you are extraordinary.
Thank you.
You have to remember that, because everyone isn't doing that. People have opportunities to do things through their own businesses, and they're not. So the fact that you are involved in hunger, that you are involved in helping your community, that is special, and you are extraordinary. So that's why you're on this podcast. Thank you, Shawn.
Yes. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, the Hunger Coalition thing came about a year ago. It was our 5-year anniversary. We were looking to say, what can we do as kind of a blessing to also be a recognition of our 5-year anniversary? And there's a lot of need. Like, there's so many great organizations in this town, just like in every part of the country. And it just came to the top that we got a huge food insecurity issue. We're not saying that people are just absolutely going without food, but there are a bunch of those. But we got a lot of people who are just eating really bad food because that's all they have. They have a Cocoa Crisp. I mean, they're not even worried about, Tyrone, amount of sugar. They just trying to get anything out of the cabinet. And so our local hunger coalition, which serves 8 counties, we have a local food pantry as well here that does a lot to give back. And so just as I said on the video, but we partnered with them, and our first year was just to really create a little bit of awareness. We had a lot of donations for 10 items, but after that year, we learned one important fact. We could take and go buy 1 can with our money, or we could give dollars and let them co-op that money with their buying power they have, and they could do 20 cans. So this year we said, you know what, let's expand this. Let's bring in all the State Farm agents in Tupelo, which is not easy to do because everybody's busy. But the 5 of us together put together this campaign. And for the month of September, we were able to raise enough money that generated almost 300,000 meals, which that's just mind boggling. And unfortunately, that doesn't last so long because the need is so great. But we did a lot to create awareness, and we're coming back again with it next year. So
I think, are you the organization that, how much money have you raised? Do you know?
Yeah, well, at last total, we were over 18,000 now. It said 17.5 on that check, but we've had money keep coming in. And so, I mean, just unbelievable. People have been very generous in this area. Mississippi is known as being the largest per capita giving individually. So it just shows in what we did too as well.
Wow.
Now, being an agent and these ideas, these concepts you come up with, could you explain to us how you go about getting them and making them come to fruition through State Farm?
I mean, you said it earlier, like, I like that, be extraordinary. I would like to say that you can be, you can think of yourself as ordinary, but do extraordinary things. We all have that capability. None of us have to be a 4-time Olympian, right? I mean, you can do things right where you are. All you gotta do is ask. Like, there's such a great need. You gotta ask. You got to have the vision, and then all you got to do is cast that vision. There were people, so many people are willing to help. You just got to stick your neck out there a little bit. It's amazing.
Yes.
So when you come up with the idea, do you have to go to State Farm and say, I would like to do a food coalition, or do you just do it and without getting the approval?
Great question. The answer is no. But when you do go to State Farm, and our partners like Arlene, they are wonderful as far as helping us at a regional level. And so they did afford us some funds to actually be a part of this, to help with this program. We also put in our funds and get matching. State Farm is known for giving a lot of money nationwide. So the agents put in money, they match that. And so as long as we're doing things, obviously, that are ethical, which giving back is about as ethical as it gets. No, you don't have to. You just have to have the idea and step forward.
Yeah.
Now, when you're having your agent with the pandemic and everything, I don't know how you were able to stay afloat with your agent. But did you have a difficult time helping your customers during the time?
So like everybody, we had to innovate. There was never a rule book for what do you do with a pandemic, right? So what we did is just try to be extremely cautious and did everything that we were supposed to when it came to masks but we didn't close our doors. We shut them for a time. We asked people to call in before you come. We could meet them on the curb. But when it came to giving, like, that didn't stop. In the month of September, we all masked up. We kept our social distance, but we worked with the local schools on getting donations and everything. We just had to do it with the rules that were in place.
Now, Shawn, before we move on, I would like you to do a couple of things. One, and also Mattie, can you put information in the chat as far as people contacting you? And if you're able to, are you looking for supplies, canned goods, and things like that from people in your community? Could you speak to that point?
Absolutely. What I would tell you is, again, you can always give. There's 10 items that we have listed, and I could put those on there as well.
Yes.
But again, I can go get a can. It takes time to do that, and it's only 1 can. The same amount of money you spend, we could get 20 cans for the same price. It's unbelievable, the buying power. So I know everybody says give money, but it goes further. I promise you. So yeah, we'll put that in the chat as well.
I appreciate that. And we want you to stay on, because we're going to have some more questions toward the end directly for you. And these programs, even though you're in Mississippi and Alabama and the southern regions, I'm sure the State Farm agents across the country are doing some of the same programs that you're doing.
Yes, absolutely. You just heard Mattie doing the same thing with food awareness through a Rotary Club. So absolutely, it's a need everywhere.
Yes.
Especially in the South.
Yes.
And talking about 6 degrees of separation, thank you, Mattie, for being so helpful, because sometimes people want to just take everything from themselves and not help anyone else. So thank you for taking time to help someone who ended up being an agent as well.
That was awesome. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
So before we go to our next guest, we're going to do a Joe Time check-in. I know that there were some hands that were raised, and I know we were asking you to give us some acronyms. So or some, like I have the Joetta's 5 Ps. Tyrone has his 5 Fs. Did anyone have any acronyms that they wanted to share with us, or either check in with us?
We're gonna go with Leslie.
Yeah, we're gonna go with Leslie, and then I think we're gonna go with Adrian.
Okay.
So Leslie, can you unmute yourself and tell us your check-in, please? Okay, so someone needs to mute themselves. And then we're gonna not come back to Leslie. I don't see Leslie on screen, nor do I. I hear her.
She's here.
Okay.
Yes, I am here.
Okay, could you please tell us a check-in so we can see what's going on in your space?
Oh, okay. I didn't know which Leslie you were talking to. I heard someone else speaking. But okay, Joe Time Fitness. My check-in is that I have, number 1, resume back to the health challenge, and I feel good about that. That's the first thing. The second thing is that the health tips are phenomenal. Keep them coming. I appreciate it, particularly with the sugars, with the fruit and all that, because I do eat fruit, a lot of it, and did not know which grams or how many grams I was being affected by. So I need to lessen some of my fruit with the more grams. And the third is that I have my my 3 Fs as well. And that is just faith, focus, and faithfulness.
Faith, focus, and faithfulness. But thank you for
focus and faithfulness.
Thank you for sharing those as for us. And you've been on the show for a long time, so we're going to put you down as a friend as well. A faithful, focused friend. How about that?
Absolutely.
So Leslie, what I want you to do is look at the screen again, take a screenshot of it, of the grams, and the ones that you can do, you know, a cup and a half, you do that. And like I said,
I wanted to mention that I was not seeing the health tips posted on the screen.
Okay.
So are they posted now? Because I'm not seeing them.
Well, they're not on right now, but when you go to YouTube and watch this over, you can see them.
Yeah.
But easy, you can just go to Google and put down.
No. I'm gonna start putting them out.
Okay.
On a weekly basis, I'm going to start putting out the grams and stuff, the different things.
Okay.
Okay.
That'll be fine. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you, Adrian. Could you come on? We'd love to hear what you have to say.
I'm here, Joetta and Tyrone, and thank you very much for having me. As it relates to your acronyms that you share every single week, in the middle of the 28-day challenge, I decided to come up with something that will keep me motivated and focused. And it's really not deep at all. And I titled it H2OM, as in water, and the M as in the Roman number 1000. So if you take the H, that's gonna essentially stand for water. The 2O is the 2000 calories per day. And obviously the M sort of backs into it that way. And it's just a reminder for me to keep going, because I feel so much better than what I did before. And instead of doing something just for a time frame, as we mentioned earlier, it's about a lifestyle change, and that's what I'm doing. So I'm gaining strength, week by week, by staying away from the things that are not good for me, and I'm consuming more of the things that are better. So the inspiration is still there every single week. The health tips are out of this world. And for those who don't have a lot of time, it's great to get Tyrone to share with us what we need to know already. So I thank you both, and I'll keep listening, and I'll keep aspiring to be better.
Thank you so much.
And continue to do great work in your community as well. Even though you don't work for State Farm, I'm sure you have an organization that can help and give back, and I'm sure you do that as well. So thank you, Agent, for your H2M, H2OM. And we have our 3 F. So thank you very much. Our next pretty face that you will see to grace the screen will be Vivian. Vivian is a State Farm agent as well. And we're going to give you an overview of Vivian. She opened her business in 2009. So that's about 11, almost 12 years. And she is down in Alabama, Hoover, Alabama. She, State Farm agents focus on auto, renters insurance, homeowners insurance, business insurance. And she has done a lot of work with the Hispanic community. She has an amazing video that she will show. And then when we get done with the video, we're going to ask her about her Latino roots and her upbringing and what she does for the Hispanic community.
Alguien que me diga cómo se tropieza con un buen amor, cuál es la destreza. Si estoy sintiendo todos los síntomas que alguien me explique.
Hi, this is Mayor James Douglas Stewart Jr., and I am so excited to have the opportunity to be able to celebrate National Hispanic Heritage Month in the city of Irondale. In the city of Irondale, we want to be a very inclusive community. We want to make sure that everybody feels like they are part of all the fantastic things that are going on in this city. We want to make sure that we celebrate all of the holidays that takes place in the month for all ethnic groups, because we want to be very inclusive as well as a very diverse community. So we welcome you to the city of Irondale as we party with a purpose and as we have a good time celebrating National Hispanic Heritage Month in the fantastic city of Irondale. I wish you were here.
Afternoon. Bienvenidos, bienvenidos al primer festival Yo Amo. Welcome to the first Yo Amo Irondale Festival.
All right, thank you. Wow, I got my feet moving. I didn't do you justice with everything. So if you don't mind, could you please give us a little more background about you and how you became part of State Farm and your heritage as well, so we can connect all of that?
I would be honored to. Thank you so much, Joetta. Thank you so much, Tyrone. I'm just thrilled to be in the show today. I'm so honored to be with this talented, amazing State Farm agent colleagues of ours, and to get to know a little more in details what they have been doing around their communities. I'm actually originally from Brazil, and I grew up as an immigrant there. Well, daughter of an immigrant. My father was actually from Spain. My relatives from my mother's side were from Denmark and Yugoslavia, so we actually ended up with a new culture in Brazil. The Latin culture was new to my parents, and but it was what I knew growing up, and we ended up, growing up speaking Portuguese, my first language, and then Spanish, since my father was from Spain. And it's so interesting that many times in your life you go through things and you don't know why, and you don't know why you're going through those, different experiences, and then God really puts you in a place where, you are able to be exposed to some experiences that you can relate to the people and the communities you're going to be honored to work with in the future. So growing up, I never thought, studying communication and public relations, that was my background. I never imagined about, working with insurance or what I could do being an agent or being a State Farm agent, but it has just been an amazing experience. And I think, the famous quote that the two most important days of your life is the day that you're born, and then the day that you find out why. And I feel so blessed that through State Farm and through this community that has embraced me here in the United States now for 20 years. So I've been pretty much half of my life already here, and this is home. This is where my kids were born. This is where my friends are, and I'm just so honored to be a part of this community. So humbled on how I was welcomed. Growing up in Brazil, many times Alabama is not the most welcoming place that you hear about. Right. And we get to know, and learn in school and through movies all the struggles about diversity and about, equity and the fight for civil rights, and just growing up and hearing all those, seem to be so far away concepts, and then getting to live them. I actually got to work. My first official job here was actually with the mayor's office, and there were so many nonprofits and communities that I got to work with, and one of them was HICA, the Hispanic Coalition here in Alabama. And I know that some of them, we were actually talking earlier today, and we're looking forward to different projects and collaborations that are going to bring benefits to this new community, because I think now we're more and more being embracing to the new residents, and all the good and all the hard work that they bring to the community, and all the diversity. Like you said, you heard the music and our feet start moving, and then we all like that favorite Latin food restaurant, Mexican restaurant that we have in town, and all the culture and all the richness that we get to enjoy together when we have all those different cultures just coming together and working as one.
And I think, thank you for that introduction and explaining everything. And no matter what you're doing, I also say it's important to be true to who you are. So you didn't get lost in this culture. You kept your authentic self, and that's important. And State Farm enabled you to bring that to fruition with all the community's events and programs. So we did see one activity. What else have you done in the area? And do you only do cultural things, Hispanic things, or do you embrace all cultures as well with your agency?
Of course, we work with all cultures. We have customers, we have customers from all backgrounds. State Farm, I know some of the other agents got to share. This has been a very exciting experience as being your own boss, you're, a business owner, and at the same time, be part of this amazing organization that is now celebrating 100 years. And I know as a fact that a lot of companies cannot say that they get to live this far. And I understand that it's because of the ability of adjusting and the ability of embracing and really valuing every customer and finding them where they are and seeing what the need is. So they really encourage agents and inspire agents, through programs that, like Arlene was already recognized, but she's really into the communities and visiting and finding out what every community needs and how the State Farm experience and how the way that we care and we want to reach out to our customers, how can that be more effective? And we've been very excited about working with several food banks in our area too. And I got some really great ideas from the agents that talked with us before us about doing the match, but fundraising with, food banks. And we had one for, the school and the neighborhood that we're in. Just last weekend, we got to post, it's actually the witch ride. So we get to get all the ladies to, dress as a witch. All the kids in the neighborhood had, the candy getting ready for Halloween. And then we were able to, raise a truckload of food from, the entire neighborhood for the church food bank as well as the school bank, because like Mr. King just said, Agent King, there's a shortage of food in communities that we didn't realize. We know that we're very fortunate here in the Hoover community, but then we don't realize that a lot of the kids, especially through the pandemic, were going hungry during the day because they didn't have that school lunch that they were counting on. So we were able to.
That we have State Farm aid. I sorry to cut you off there, but I wanted to stop you on 2 points before we move forward. I didn't want to lose my thought. So I apologize, but I was wanted to slow you down because you said something that was important. Tyrone and I always say this as well. We say at Joetta Fitness, we meet you where you are. And so you mentioned that you meet people where they are. So being a State Farm agent and being involved in the community, how has State Farm met you where you are in helping the people in the community? Can you tell us a little bit more about what they've done?
Of course I can. Actually, one of our latest projects that we're so excited about is that, we've been working with the city of Irondale to reach out to their Hispanic residents. And it's because of the reason that we had really severe weather in our areas that a lot of, our residents were not expecting or ready for. And we lived through, a couple of tornadoes, one in the Footondale area and one in the Pelham area. And I know that, that tornado affected many of the agents in our area as well. But a lot of our, Hispanic customers and customers that were involved directly with our agency were needing help. So we were able to actually get the team together, because I could not do anything, and I think that the agents already mentioned that we're just one. And when we partner, when we get our teams together, other agents involved, that's when our impact can be bigger. So we were able to actually work with the EMA, to actually the emergency management agency, because they realized that a lot of the Hispanic customers in our area, residents, were not aware of the sirens, and were not aware of how to get prepared. Actually, a couple of our customers were affected by the tornado and lost everything. And so we are working to try to come up with a campaign. We're already launched the campaign to celebrate 100 years of State Farm. Yes. And come up with information, and make sure that we reach out to those residents that are not aware how to be prepared. I know that we do have the radio, and a lot of the listeners would be aware where to look for. Now, James Spann here is huge in Alabama, right? So in our area, if bad weather is coming, we're all going to be turned on and watching. But a lot of the Hispanic residents, if they don't know English, they don't know who to contact, they are not prepared or aware how to do that. So we're partnering with the Red Cross and State Farm, and with Irondale. And Irondale is very special to us. It's where we opened our second location last year during the pandemic. Wow. And the mayor wanted to put together that event to let the customers know and let the residents know that they are welcome. So we're working with the city, the Red Cross, and State Farm to come up with the campaign to get the word out about preparedness, as well as start with 100 helmets, 100 weather radios, and 100 flashlights to the community that has been less fortunate. And that's just the beginning. That's just to get the word out about the campaign.
That's awesome.
Well, we can hear your enthusiasm with your programs and the campaign. We wish you well with that. Can you please put your information in the chat so people can contact you, make some donations, or even come out to help volunteer? We know that you can't do everything by yourself, so you will need some help. So please put that information in the chat, and we look forward to speaking to you in a couple more minutes to kind of wrap up everything. Wow.
Thank you so much again. It has been an honor.
And thank you for your 5 languages that you speak. I think you speak 5, so I'm not going to bore you with my small Spanish and my small French. So I'm just going to speak English with you and say thank you very much for your time.
You're so welcome. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Wow, Tyrone, that's really great. We've had Vivian, we've had Shawn.
I can speak too.
You can.
Yes and no. That's a language, or that's a.
Yeah, that's the language. That's not bilingual. I can tell you that. I don't know what that is. It is bi. You are saying 2 words, bi words, bi and bi. But anyway, with that being said, we're going to go to our next guest on the show. His name is James Gant, and James was born in South Carolina, and he graduated from the University of South Carolina. He's a double major down there, and he's been with State Farm Agency since 1978. And he, in 1983, became the first African-American in Columbus, Georgia, to open a State Farm agency. He is a proud pastor of a church down in Columbus, Georgia. His wife works diligently with him. He's been married to her for 42 years. So that's Miss Patricia Mack Gant. And the next face that you will see on the screen will be that of James Gant. And I see him in front of a fire hydrant with, I guess, a captain or a lieutenant.
A fire truck.
I mean, a fire truck. In front of a fire truck.
Yeah, he's in front of the big rig.
The big rig, as they call it. And then he was also there with his wife, and they were passing out water, it appears. So thank you, James, for being on the show and being a graduate of the University of South Carolina. And now you're down in Georgia. My family's from Georgia. They're from Macon, Georgia, and Donaldsonville, Georgia. So that's somewhere in your area, I would think. Okay. Well, we'd like you to, yes, thank you very much for being on the Be Extraordinary podcast, and thank you for all you've done. And we're going to have you jump right in and then just tell us how and what you've been doing in the community with the support of State Farm.
You guys unmute yourself. Unmute. There you go.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, but thank you again for the privilege to be with you and my fellow State Farm agents for your sharing we together on one program today. It's wonderful to be so. But I'll get right to it. And just thankful to Miss Arlene Lester. You know, she's the one that that helps to make sure that State Farm's commitment to the community, she works with the agents and always helping and promote State Farm and the visibility in the community. But the visibility is not just for the agents, and not just for the company. The visibility is for the importance of being in a community. In that community, you know, we exude this spirit of feeding into a community rather than feeding off of the community. Yeah. Mm-hmm. A few of the things that we've been involved in for quite a while is we sponsored in our community a State Farm back to school drive just recently. We gave 250 book bags, school supplies, and with sanitizers as well for the children going back to school. And that was for the children of schools at large, rather than a specific school, because we do have a specific school that we partner with, and that's Baker Middle, formerly Baker High School, and Key Elementary School. We partner with them to do that. Also, along with those backpacks, we gave packs to teachers. And so we made a big deal out of the whole thing. We had a DJ ice cream truck in my office parking lot. Yes. So that the kids, when they come to get their backpacks with their supplies, didn't matter what school they came from, it could have even been from another community. Yes. We had it for them, and you know, they could get some ice cream and just enjoy the day with us. Similar to what we do at Baker Middle, that is our partner, that's our permanent partners. We have some incentives for students that are improved. We help and provide sometimes reading sessions, things that would help them along the way there. And then we give there's a Tree of Life healthcare clinic made up of physicians, dentists, and healthcare specialists to provide care for uninsured people or people who otherwise may not have access to care. Mm-hmm. So we gave $500 checks to this clinic. Yes. But we were partnering, it wasn't just us. There is a nonprofit that my spouse of 43 years, she started this nonprofit called Feeding, Accepting, Inspiring the Hurting. It's the acronym is FAITH. Yes. Is what that. So they stepped forward, and she stepped forward in that to help this clinic. So I said, well, hey, you know, State Farm, here we are together, partners. We're partners at home, so we can be partners with State Farm and with Faith in doing that. Wow. And I think that's so important, James. I'm going to stop you right there because we have to get some dialogue going on. You've done such a lot. And so often when we've done so much, we want everyone to hear about it. So what we're going to do is we want you to put your information in the chat so people can contact you. And if you have any videos that you want to share about all that you do, being a pastor, I know you're just getting wound up here. And so unfortunately, we don't have too much more time. But what I do want to say is that it is so very important for you to continue your great work in the community with education and schools and your nonprofit with your wife for 43 years. I said 42. Yes. So you corrected me, 43 years, the FAITH acronym, and that's one of Tyrone's, one of his 5 F's. So thank you very much for having the vision and foresight to putting that all together. And as I want to say in closing on your part, is if there was just one thing that you want our audience to know about the State Farm Agency, what would that be? Is that we're here to provide coverage for you for the unexpected and love and help and assistance in any way we can is what we're for. Well, thank you very much for providing that assistance, Vivian. I'm going to go back to you to give you one short closing thought that the audience can have about State Farm.
100 years, what a legacy. We're ready for 100 years more, supporting and being part of our communities. We want to see them thrive.
Well, good. Thank you very much. And Shawn, you would be next. What is your parting word? Unmute him. You have to unmute. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I would just say, we don't just give money, we give our time and our talent as well. And with 19,000 agents across the country, plus our team members, that's a lot of effort. And we're just blessed to be around 100 years. Hopefully we'll have another year if the Lord blesses us.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you so much.
And Mattie from Philadelphia.
So my parting words would be, the world needs more volunteers, and we do a lot in the community, but from what I've heard, it's common to all State Farm agents. We have that innate desire to help people, but we need more volunteers. Communities are only as good as the people that volunteer in them. So my final word would be extraordinary out in your communities every day.
Well, thank you. And we're only as good as our guests. And I have James Robinson that I'd like to hear from as well to add a closing remark. James. Hi. You have to unmute.
Hey, Joetta and Tyrone, how you doing?
Hey, James,
well,
how you
thank
doing?
you.
Excellent show. Great guests, great information provided by all your guests. As always, I had an acronym that I always use for my student athletes over my 24 years of coaching, and that was MABEL. MABEL was mind, just had the right attitude. A was for action, just take the necessary steps. Once you identify the steps to take to make the corrections or the improvements in your life, make those steps. Body, bring your sound mind, sound body, healthy wise, and everything you're encompassing. I was inner peace, and then L is lifestyle. Wow. That's how I got the MABEL. So I always said, have more MABEL in your life to my student athletes at Rutgers University for 24 years. So that's my acronym.
Nice, man.
And you might be the lucky guest. If you happen to have State Farm if your State Farm is your agent, if you do, we have a guest, we have a Joe Time t-shirt for you. So would you be one of the lucky ones, or are you that person?
I do. I had actually 3 different policies with State Farm. Life, home, and a rental property insurance as well. I'm sorry, and auto.
Now you want 4 shirts. I said 1 shirt. So you have to show up and say you have 4 things. So we'll see if we can get you more than a shirt and a hat. How about that?
Nope, you said it. You get 3 shirts.
All right, well, thank you very much for coming on.
XLs. I need XLs. I didn't do the fitness challenge. So I'm gonna need XLs right now.
Another one. We're about to start another something up in a couple of weeks. So get ready.
We'll get ready for that. And then also, thank you for James.
Thank you.
And what we also want to do, we've been talking about Arlene Lester, and I think it's so important to hear from Arlene, and she has been so very important getting everything together, sponsoring the whole month of October. So Arlene Lester, if you're on, I would love to hear what you have to say, and we would like to thank you personally with all of the agents that you had on the show. Thank you so much, and we appreciate you so much for having the agencies and the agents on. So are you there, Arlene?
I am here. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, we can.
I see you've been hiding out on my Twitter page. That's where you found that picture, huh?
Okay.
I love it. What a nice surprise. Thank you. Well, Joetta and Tyrone, you know the old song that says we've come to the end of the road?
Yes.
But we're just at the fork in the road. So thank you for this month of celebration that we've been able to partner with the Be Extraordinary podcast. We started out by doing this to be a fire prevention conversation back in the beginning of the month, highlighting Tyrone's great work in the fire prevention world, et cetera. And it just kept growing and expanding. So we've had 4 wonderful weeks with you. I appreciate your support. I appreciate the information that you've allowed us to share. And I guess you wonder, why did we want to end it this way? So we are closing out with celebrating the beginning of our 100th year at State Farm.
Wow.
And that's a long time for any company to be a part of the community. And we're not doing this just because we want to sell more insurance, but we want to do that too. Don't get me wrong. But we want people to know that we don't just sell insurance and financial services. We are a part of the community. Every community that Shawn mentioned, 19,000 communities, agents strong. We are there. We're here to help life go right. And we're just showing you a little bit about what we do with our agents, and they represent agents across the country who do fantastic work. So thank you all, my agents, for being here and talking about your work. And thank you again, Joetta. This has been wonderful. We were kind of testing the waters out a little bit, but guess what? We'll be back again. And I appreciate you greatly.
We appreciate
Thank you
too.
so much, Arlene.
You're doing a great job. She's always so humble behind the scenes, but it's so important for us to let you know that she is there in her capacity serving these Alabama, Georgia, and Mississippi area. So thank you, Arlene, and to the agents. And Tyrone, I know you didn't get your time check-in today. Sorry, but do you have a closing remark or you can get a check-in?
All right, my check-in would be that it's still a couple of more days in October.
Yes.
But my check-in is for you that you did an extraordinary bike ride the other day.
Oh, yes.
I think you did 15 miles
I did.
for breast cancer.
Yes, I did. I did a 15-mile bike ride for breast cancer. And I was just driving down the road and saw a billboard saying, we're going to meet here this day, this time. So I got my bike. I wasn't all fancy, but I had my helmet on and I rode. I felt good. It wasn't sore and it was for a good cause. And we made a donation. So thank you for mentioning that. I had a really good time. So thank you.
Did they know you were there, Joetta? I'm just curious.
You know, Arlene, I fly beneath the radar. So no, I didn't come in with my medals and my book and my perfume.
Right.
I didn't have all that. I just came in under the radar. Someone did recognize me and I looked at them and said, you better, I gave them that look. I just want to be with the people. Yes. Sometimes I like to be amongst the people and then hear me as opposed to having people change their conversation because I'm there. So
I love it.
They did.
And that's one of the things I love about you. You talk about me being humble. You walk around places that people have no clue who's in their presence, and it's awesome. Yeah. Can I add one last thing I meant to mention?
You can.
As we prepare to start our 100th year, State Farm is putting a challenge out to the world that we are asking people to do acts of good. You heard them all talking about helping the communities, helping people where they're needed and where their needs are. And on our website, State Farm is asking the community to sign up and just start creating acts of good because it creates a kinder community for everyone. And they can go to 100forgoodstatefarm.com and register. And we're just asking you to go out, do something. Don't like Joetta, don't tell anybody, just do it.
Right.
But go on the website so we can do that. Our goal is to get 1 million acts of good by our anniversary in June. So will you help us? We ask everyone out there to help us. If everybody does one and ask somebody else to do one, we'll reach our goal of 1 million acts of good by June of 2022. So that website is 100forgoodstatefarm.com.
And if you could put that in the chat, Arlene, and we're going to do all we can, myself included, to make sure we get to that number.
And my one act of good, this is a light bulb that is already charged that you can hang it in your closet for people like Joetta with a lot of clothes and shoes in her closet.
Oh, I need that, Tyrone.
Yes.
Give me one.
You can go, okay,
we will.
I will.
You know we do that.
So I will send you one. And what it does, all you do is take this little charger, put it in.
And there you go.
And click it. And when it goes down, all you do is put it in a lamp or somewhere, it charges back up and slide it back in.
Wow.
So my act of kindness is for you, Joetta.
Oh, well, thank you. And you won't get this one, Arlene, but you will get another one. Thank you, Tyrone. Well, wow. We are sorry that we have to leave, but the good thing about leaving sometimes is, we can always come back together. As we say at the podcast, it doesn't matter what road you take, but what you become along the journey. Thank you, State Farm. Thank you, Tyrone. Thank you, agents, for taking the journey along with us. This Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Please remember to put yourself first. Schedule your appointments. And next month, we have a new sponsor, WOCIP, Women of Color and Pharma. And so they're going to be on the show. And we look forward to having them as our guest next week. That's our new flyer, Be Extraordinary Podcast, with our two amazing guests that will be on. Will be Dr. Mark and Dr. Marissa. And they'll be here next week, 5:30 East Coast time, 4:30 Central. Until then, you take care. evening.
Bye.
Same to the